Hey there, it's Granny Barb here with another of Granny Barb's wonderful herbal videos. Today we're going to be harvesting elderflowers. Now I know, elderberries. Everybody wants elderberries, right? There are numerous reasons why I choose elderflowers more or less over elderberries. One is I never seem to be able to get the elderberries when it's time. The other is I cannot resist the glorious fresh honey and sunshine aroma of elderflowers. But probably the biggest reason is a beautiful memory of many years ago in England, going to collect elderflowers for Josephine's elderflower wine Swindon on White Horse Hill. Elderflowers are just one of my absolute favorites, and the flowers have all of the same medicinal qualities as the berries, and they're so lovely. I always think that an elderflower bush in bloom looks like a bush where a woman has laid out all of her lace handkerchiefs on the limb to dry, and it just it's just sweet. So, harvesting elderflowers, how do you do it? Well, pretty much you just pluck the bracket of blossoms and drop it in the pan. So we're a little bit late this time around. You can see, if my videographer will get a close-up, that some of the brackets of flowers are already turning into berries. So we want to just get all the flowers that we can while we still can, and then perhaps later we'll come back and we'll get elderberries as well. We'll just see how our schedule works out.
Granny Barb is letting me help her pick, and look at that. That is just the most beautiful little bouquet of elderflowers. So pretty.
Looks like a wedding bouquet.
It does. Just look at all the petals, the little flowers on the leaves of the other plants. It looks like a wedding.
I know.
So pretty. Look at all that. It's so pretty.
So if you see a cluster of flowers that you really want, but they seem like they're too high, keep in mind that the elder plant is actually quite flexible, and pretty much no matter how high up in the air it is, you can bring it down to earth for yourself. And there we are. Look here. Got a nice little lightning bug. Don't kill your lightning bugs. They kill harmful pests in your garden. So this is step 2 of preparing elderflowers for whatever you want to do, whether you're making a syrup, a honey, a tincture, a wine, all of it. You do the same thing. You have to just gently brush all of the flowers off of the brackets. Now what's really nice is if you can manage to get several friends together to pick elderflowers with you and brush the flowers off of the stems, but you don't want to get very much stem at all because the stems are, they are toxic. So you want to be careful and really just get the flowers. You can even get these little, not yet flowers. Those are fine. You can get those too. And it takes a long time. So be prepared to spend an afternoon with your bucket of elderflowers that you've picked. There have been times when I've picked 2 or 3 buckets worth of elderflowers. Well, that's a very long afternoon. Probably one of the best uses for some elderflower wine is to get through a session of getting all of the flowers off of the stems of the elderflowers that you have picked. So, other than pulling a few little stems out, we are done garbling our elderflowers. Garbling, by the way, means getting rid of the bad stuff and keeping the good stuff. And this 5-gallon pail of elderflowers should yield us a nice gallon of elderflower honey. So we'll get onto that in a little bit. So we've gotten our beautiful elderflowers. We've left them overnight so that the bugs could crawl out, actually, because this is a thing. The bugs will crawl out up the edge of the bowl and out, and so that's something that you actually want to do. And then you just take all these beautiful flowers and you fill up a jar with them, whatever. So, obviously not everybody's going to do a gallon, but we're doing a gallon today. I might even have more than enough to do a gallon. So, elderflowers, just like their children, elderberries, are full of good things. They're wonderful immune system booster and antiviral, and they just taste so good. And when cold and flu season comes on, there's nothing nicer than to put a spoonful of elderflower honey on a piece of toast or in a cup of tea. It's just lovely. Soothing, and it's healing. Through all of COVID, my husband and I used 2 medicines. We used elderflower syrup or honey, and we used honeysuckle syrup. And for what it's worth, it's not proof of anything, it's not science or anything like that, but we didn't get sick. So that's what I like to go by. And now you just pour your honey in. Probably should have poured the honey in layers. That might have been a good idea. So keep that in mind. And if I need to, I'll go out and I'll buy another jug of honey. But the basic idea is to make it so that there's nothing but elderflowers and honey in this jar, and to let it sit for a few weeks. Stir it from time to time. You can turn it upside down. Do whatever you need to do to get all of the flowers saturated in all of that lovely honey. And you'll notice as the days go by that the level of the honey will drop, and that's because more air has come out of the flowers to go. And so you just put more honey in. Just keep putting more honey in. And that's how you make elderflower honey. We'll be back in a couple of weeks to strain it out and put it into little jars. But that's all I have for you this morning.